Liverpool's perfect start to the season was wrecked by Forest last weekend, but they bounced back by beating AC Milan in Italy in midweek. So how will they respond against Bournemouth at Anfield on Saturday?
I don't think that was the main issue, if it was even an issue, because 2 or 3 days later we had to play Milan again, and then you would still expect players to be tired, or maybe even more tired. And we came up with a real strong performance. So for me, and I said this a few times before, we have to give credits to what Nottingham Forest did. They made it really hard for us, made it really difficult for us, and that's always the main resistance, the team you face, and not the amount of games you play or other things. It's always about the resistance the other team gives you.
Obviously we saw Cody Gakpo come in and take his opportunity as well against Milan with his performance, but what does Darwin Núñez have to do to, or what does he have to show you to get his opportunity? The reason I ask as well is because we saw him score 3 goals against Bournemouth last season. He had that big moment against Newcastle where he scored 2 late goals to take all 3 points, but also finished the season with just 1 goal in 13 as well. So what is it that Darwin needs to show you to get his opportunity?
Same like all the others. Work really hard, and then the goals will come. And I think that's also what he did when he came in against AC Milan. Is first of all you come in for the team, and then as a result of that, attackers score goals or assist, and that's also what happened to Cody. But it happened before with Lucio and with Mo and with Diogo. So if you play in a team like Liverpool, you will always score your goals or get your assists. But it's for me, it's mainly about the work we do without the ball, and that they can score goals and that they can assist. I know, and that's the same with Darwin. So he will get his chance in the near future. We play a lot of games, and I think he's fitter and fitter now. Understands day by day better what we expect from him, but is in competition with Diogo, who, in our opinion, have done really well in the last games.
You had to build Darwin's confidence though as well.
No. I think he came back with a lot of confidence from was the Copa America, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Scored some good goals, and no, I don't think Darwin always has confidence, because and he has every right to have this confidence, because everywhere he played he always scored goals, and as a striker sometimes you have a few games that you don't score, and then all of a sudden you score a lot. So as long as he brings his work rate in for the team and we bring him enough in positions, I'm 100% sure he or Diogo or one of the others will score his goals.
We saw Bournemouth come to Anfield last season, got an early goal, seemed to want to go toe-to-toe with Liverpool as well. What are you expecting from them this season?
They started off quite well with a win against our neighbours. That caught the eye the most, of course, because they were 2-0 down so late in the game. But I think Andoni Iraola has done a tremendous job over there. Plays nice football to watch, develops players. Has a nice playing style, so all credits for him. But hopefully we can manage to do better against Bournemouth tomorrow than we did against Nottingham Forest last week.
Just checking on new injury worries.
Alisson is still a doubt if he can train today, so let's wait if he can train, and if he can't, then he will probably not play as well. So we have to wait and see.
Well,
apart from Harvey Elliott, of course. Yeah.
I wonder what your memories are of working with Luis Sinisterra and Marcos Senesi.
Only positive memories, of course, except for one moment. We had a great season. We reached the final of the Conference League with these 2 players that were really important for our team then as well. Unfortunately, we lost the final. So that's the only bad memory I have when it comes to that season and to the players that played in that team. Luis Sinisterra is a winger that I like because he dominates 1v1, can score a goal, and Marcos Senesi always has had a lot of impact at Feyenoord, and also in the 1 season he worked with me.
What qualities do Bournemouth have to pull off the fight back they did the last trip to Merseyside?
They were aggressive last season. I saw this because I saw parts of the game yesterday. They were really aggressive, high press, made it really difficult for Liverpool to get the ball forward to the forwards as well, and scored a goal by a high press. I think they took the ball off, I think it was Trent, and scored. and that's the style they usually play. So that's also what we expect from them tomorrow. And they have a lot of individual quality as well, because I just said that Andy did a great job over there, but I think the sports director that worked there for so many years did a very good job as well. Maybe because of that, Liverpool tried to took him from him. Because he brought in some really good and talented players, where Marcos and Luis are two examples of, but I can tell you more if you want me to. Yeah.
Because you've referred to him, how is the relationship with Richard developing in these early weeks?
Well, it's been good from the start, and like with all the others you work with, it only develops if you work longer with each other, if you get to know each other better. So he gets to know my ideas about football even better. He already knew them really, really, really well. That was also the reason why I wanted to join Liverpool, because he knew more about me than only results. And I get to know him day by day even better, and work relationship is really good, as well as how we get along off the pitch.
Yes, obviously we've done our review like we do every week. It confirms a little bit what we felt after the game. No, we are very pleased with the performance. I think we gave us our options to obtain points and to try to win the game against Chelsea. Unluckily for us, we didn't take our chances and we finished losing the game. But if you ask me, probably it's the best game we've played. Maybe against Newcastle, both games we played at home for me have been very good, and we have to do a lot of the same things and improving the things that at the end decide the games. No, yes.
Obviously, Evanilson missed the penalty. Have you had the opportunity to speak to him this week? Because obviously he'll want to get that first goal. He knows that there's attention on him because of the price tag and because of the type of player he is. Have you seen the work in training? Have you had the opportunity to have a chat with him?
No, we've talked to him, but he's used to know. It's not that he has been taking penalties before. He has missed before. I've missed penalties also in my career. I know how you feel when you miss a penalty. But you have to try not to change, your confidence, your attitude, and I think it's part of the job. No, sometimes the keepers make a big mistake, and you have to continue focusing the next play and don't try to change anything. And in these scenarios, I think it's the same. No, think in the next one, try to forgot about it and continue performing well. Yes, is what I would suggest him. Yes.
What's the team news ahead of the Liverpool game? Have you got any doubts? Anyone returning?
The only one returning, I think, the only one out 100% is Taylor, that and the only one that I want to see him, if he can be available for today, is Dango. Dango probably is too early, but Dango has normally very good recoveries, and we will see today. Is the only one that probably will have to assess today and decide, but everyone else is available. Yes.
You're going to Anfield, which is one of the most tricky away games that Bournemouth have had in their tenure whilst they've been in the Premier League. When you look at what Nottingham Forest did last week, has that helped you? Has that given you maybe food for thought, or just you've seen something different in the performance that you think actually that could help us?
I don't think it helps a lot. Probably it makes even more dangerous the game, because it's not normal that they lose again at home, and it's less normal that they lose two in a row. No, probably they have the game of at Milan, where they were very, very good. I think they won the game, I would say, even easily against Milan. They were, for me, it was a great performance for them. And even the Forest game, they lost it, but even Forest doing very good things, playing very well, the normal outcome of that game would be Liverpool winning, no? But they hit the post. These things happen. We also saw it against Chelsea, but we have to go with the mentality of giving us chances, like we did the other day. Do your job, do your 100%. Maybe it's not enough sometimes, because they are a top team. I think with Arsenal and City are the top three of the league right now. They've been last years, and it looks like they are going to continue to be this this season, and you have to be very, very good. This is mandatory, and sometimes it's not going to be enough. But if you are not very good, then you have no chance for sure.
Just how shocking was that defeat? We've called it shocking. Just how shocking was that for Liverpool?
Shocking is probably how surprising, you mean, because I think they'd won their previous 3, they hadn't conceded any goals. They'd have been the first club in history to go 4 games with 4 wins without conceding, and everyone expected them to do it precisely because of the commentary. They hadn't lost to Forest at home since 69,
yeah.
My mama hadn't
Great
met my
year.
dad.
Great year that was. I was born there.
But, you know, Tim's been schooling me, even during the VT, when he takes his shot, I'll let you...
It's outside. When Hudson-Odoi steps inside, I mean, they got to defend big. You know, Konate has to make himself big there, but when that ball comes and you get behind it, it's 2 yards outside the post when he starts it. The goalkeeper has absolutely no chance. They've got it right.
Yeah.
Nuno got it absolutely spot on. Midfield, filled the midfield up early. All of a sudden, after an hour or so, he thinks, you know what? They're a little bit open here. They're flying forward. They're vacating them wide areas and their fullbacks. Let's bring on Hudson-Odoi and Elanga. And that's exactly what they did. And all of a sudden, they had some joy of going forward and they countered brilliantly and they got their goal. And in the end, you'd have to say they deserved it. Honeymoon officially over, unfortunately, for Arne Slot. I think it was a hiccup. To go away to AC Milan, brilliant for them to get back. But they cannot get beat now against Bournemouth, 100%. He realises now he's at the biggest club he's ever going to be at. This is Liverpool. We're talking 1969, the last time Nottingham Forest beat them at home. You cannot lose another game against a team you're expected to beat as a Liverpool manager.
What was fascinating to me interviewing Alisson after the game, I said it must be so frustrating to lose, considering you had so many opportunities and so many chances to win the game. And he said, but not really, he said a version of this, but not really clear-cut chances.
Yeah, and we saw it from the VT, didn't we? There wasn't really that much in terms of opportunities for, or that Liverpool managed to carve out, and that's a problem. I wonder if there was a touch of complacency going into that match because of that record, because of the run that they'd been on.
And Darren coming back from internationals, the first game after the international break is always, for the bigger sides, a hiccup. It nearly was for Man City. They wasn't great against Brentford.
Good point. Yeah. And I think as far as Liverpool are concerned, really, in some ways, for their Champions League ambitions, it was probably the perfect preparation because it was, I say perfect, obviously, ironically, but losing that probably switched them back on again. You know, let's not take this for granted. And given their record against Bournemouth, they won 9 of the last 10. They've only lost 1, but they won't want to take them for granted. Iraola's a terrific coach. Bournemouth are still a good team, even without Solanke. This could be interesting, but I expect Liverpool to win.
My worry with Arne Slot's interview after, he said that they come with a very low block and we found it difficult to break it down. They get used to it. I mean, he must have seen footage of teams coming to Anfield. Pretty much 90% of the Premier League will go there and play with a low block. That's what they try and do. They're not going to open up and just let them play. But at times, the difference between Arne Slot and Jurgen Klopp is Jurgen Klopp played 100 mile an hour all of the time. His team had more control. I think it will help him out, a longevity of the season, helps him conserve some energy. But there is going to be times in games when they're going to need to play that 100 mile an hour football, get it forward. Because when they were playing, they were going sideways and backwards. They were letting Forest funnel back in and then having the low block.
That is quite interesting because obviously it was always a heavy metal football under Klopp, like you're saying. Whereas if it becomes to be a heavy metal football, it might look like panicky football as opposed to the kind of trademark Liverpool that we've seen over the last couple of years.
Yeah, but they can mix it up. So I think he needs to find
I agree.
a happy medium
I
now. He needs
you.
to realise that the way Jurgen Klopp's sides broke down the low block was when they won the ball, they went forward. They give it to the speedsters, give it to Mo Salah very early, getting the ball forward to Diaz as quickly as they possibly can. It's a hiccup. There's nothing wrong with Liverpool. I really like the manager. I think he's settled in well. It's early days to know and to assess where they're going to end up. But I don't think he's done a bad job. But he's done a bad job if they get beaten with Bournemouth at the weekend. Now that evens it out. That is not acceptable.
Well, that for the first time in 66 years. Nottingham Forest won at Anfield for the first time since 1969 in any competition. Liverpool have been dominant there over Forest, but they absolutely were not dominant. This was by no means really a smash and grab. This was a poor performance by Liverpool against a really organised Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, you can't. Obviously, you always have to take into consideration how well the so-called bigger team played, and you can't say that Liverpool did play well. I thought Forest defended well. I thought they always look quite dangerous on the break, and then especially when they've got those kind of guys to come off the bench, they're going to be dangerous. But it's just the way Liverpool played. I'm going to give Forest their flowers, but the way Liverpool played was very strange for me to see in how slowly things were moving, and then how poor they were with final balls in the final third. So I was very surprised, because if they're trying to, you have to be very patient. If that's the game you're going to play, you're trying to suck teams on to pass quickly to get through If we've seen Manchester City do it for years, and how you have to have patience with that. I don't know. I don't know how long Liverpool are going to have patience with that kind of play, because that's what it looked like.
And that's the problem, I think, because results can happen. But I think when you're talking about the element of surprise, I think that came from the performance from Liverpool. The reasons I've seen for it, one is sort of bedding in under a new manager, which is going to take a little bit of time. So when they're kind of up against it, it's working out how to do that and trying to break down that low block that Nottingham Forest set up in. Also, they've come back from the international break, which is the same for every team who've come back, but they've had players travelling a lot and coming back, so they've lost that rhythm. And the third thing was just lack of performances from individual players. It was just a kind of below-par performance from all of them.
Yeah, all of them, Cal.
Yeah. No, but what I'm saying but what I'm saying is from other teams this weekend, they'll have had the same circumstance, but it feels like... Teams have got new managers, teams have had international breaks, teams have had players not performing to the best of their ability, but it felt like all three of them were in evidence at Anfield.
But I think as well for Liverpool, though, Cals, in the first 3 games, it went so well. So I don't know whether it is an element of actually... This was needed to give them a bit of a rocket to say, you're right, yes, we've played a different style because they overloaded the midfield and made it difficult for us to play through. Your individual brilliant players like Salah was not quite on it. So you're thinking, OK, sometimes when you're not playing well, your magician gets you out of a hole a little bit and digs something out. That didn't really happen. You're right, OK, you go to your bench. OK, Liverpool will shift gear and go up. And it didn't. And in the Premier League, you get punished. And, they defended really well. And then we all said it, I did the game, we're like, they're going to be on the counter-attack, be switched on, and you get done. And then at the end of the game, Virgil van Dijk's like, we weren't good enough today. But that's why I go back to how brilliant Arsenal were, because it's these games that cost you, because you have to be flawless. You have to be, and that's not me being disrespectful to Forest. It's just like, if you have the aspirations, when all those factors are against you, you still have to find a way.
City,
and that's why I was a bit like, brilliant for Arsenal. I was really disappointed for Liverpool, because I've loved them so far. And
That's
it was like,
That's the thing. That's why you have to look at City. I remember a few years back when Raheem Sterling scored a last-minute goal against Southampton, and I looked at the bench, and Pep was going crazy celebrating, and his interview afterwards was talking about, this is going to happen to us at home a lot, and we have to have the patience and confidence in what we're trying to do to break it down. And that's why he celebrated. And I think that's maybe Liverpool on that journey, Kels. They've got to continue what they're doing, but then the individual brilliance that they've got in players, Trent and Salah and all the great players that they've got, Jota, who's quite poor, they've got to come to the party.
Yeah. There's no easy games in the league, is there?
And that's the thing. I mean, you were saying no disrespect to Forest. Actually, it's respectful to Forest to say you've got to be absolutely flawless if you want to beat any team in the Premier League. But one of the things that, and it's been a very comfortable ride for Arne Slot, because results have been there before this international break. One of the other issues that people had with this performance was when the substitutions were started to be made. One of them was Conor Bradley coming on, who went in at right back. I think at the end they ended up with 2 full-backs and Virgil van Dijk. And then it moved Trent Alexander-Arnold into midfield, which is... Well, we've seen him move into midfield before, but we've not necessarily seen that before. Is it about Slot finding new ways, or is this something that you think he might persevere with?
I think for him in that moment, it was, to what Wright is saying, looking for your magic man to produce magic. You all know that Trent is going to give deliveries that can make anything happen. And especially in a game where you're trying to knock on the door and it's not really happening, it's like, okay, what can I try? I think what he didn't factor in is that your opposition, you have to pay respect to your opposition, because Nuno's substitutions were absolute masterstroke.
Spot on.
And the players said it after the game. The manager told us, we're not dropped, but I have a specific match plan and it's going to come into play. Elanga and Hudson-Odoi came on and it was game over from that. They could have probably both scored on that day. And I don't think they had anything to counteract that. They weren't prepared for the pace, they weren't prepared for how direct they were going to be, and they just weren't prepared for how fluid Forest were going to be any time they managed to get the ball
and
back.
disciplined as well.
Exactly.
You know what, Kels? It's again, you know, Forest don't get a lot of praise simply because of the amount of money they've spent and how they've done it, and it's always seems quite chaotic. This team settling down, but even the point that you make there, the manager seems to have got things where it's stable. Like, this is what I'm going to do. Yeah. It seems more organised from back to front, and even the substitutes know when they're coming on. But when you look at the business of selling Brennan Johnson to Tottenham for 55 million and getting them two for 21, two players, if I'm going to be honest and not being disrespectful to Brennan Johnson, are both better than him in what they can produce, and now they may have the opportunity, especially Callum Hudson-Odoi.
And now, your favourite and my favourite time of the show, prediction time. We're going to hear from Darren and Tim ahead of this weekend's Premier League action, starting with West Ham Chelsea. Darren.
Oh, big game this, lots of goals, 3-2 to Chelsea.
I think West Ham will score, but Chelsea will score more. I think it will be 1-2.
Thank you for that. What about Villa Wolves?
Villa 3, Wolves 0.
I'm going to go with one less, Villa 2, Wolves 0. Home win for them.
Fulham versus Newcastle.
Oh, this is a good one. I think there'll be goals in the game. Neither side at the moment can defend. I'm going to go 1-2. So Newcastle to win.
1-1.
Ooh. Leicester Everton.
Oh, what a huge game of football this is. Massive for the bottom of the league. Get some confidence, take them on. 0-0.
He hyped us up with the mic drop. Thank you. Darren, do you agree?
No, I don't. I don't think either side can defend. I think it will
or
be...
attack.
Or attack, yeah. No, I think it'll be 1-1. I'll go 1-1.
What will the score be between Liverpool and Bournemouth?
Oh, Liverpool should win this one and put right last weekend. I'm going to go Liverpool 3, Bournemouth 0.
I go 3-1. I think Liverpool will win, but I think Bournemouth look potent on the attack, so I think they can score against Liverpool.
Southampton Ipswich.
Oh, another huge game at the bottom there. Southampton 2, Ipswich 1.
Yeah, the pass out from the back derby. I'm going to go with 1-1.
Tottenham Brentford.
Oh, this is easy for... Actually, no, it's not, because I think set-piece goals might fly in. I'm going to go for a shock. Brentford to win 1-0.
2-2.
Palace Man United.
Palace 1, Man United 2.
Palace 2, Man United 0.
Brighton Forest.
Brighton Forest 2-0.
1-0, Brighton.
OK, we have seconds left, but we have the blockbuster on Sunday, Manchester City versus Arsenal.
Goalless.
2-1, Man City win.
I think it'll be goalless.
Season over.
Cancel each other out.
Season over. 5 weeks into the new Premier League, says Tim Sherwood.